Welcome to Dominaria MTG, and today we are playing Grixis Affinity, a list from Luffy to the Chop of the Palha. I think that's I pronounced that, but the interesting list to be playing. I back to play back playing the KENKU Artificer, more Toxinalis, and Mountain instead of Swamp. And you're gonna be noticing in the video that I had a different art from the for the Red Elemental Blast and the Great Furnace because I just play all the league with the cars that I rent because I don't have much of most of those expensive cars like Ultra Monitor and the Pyroblast and the Red Blast and also the King Artificer, the Great Furnace and also the Vaunt of Whispers. But that's it. I just have to mention that because the art is different. But this is a pretty stock list. I like the list. Luffy, I guess I if he does a one one challenge. I think he made a top two or top four. I don't remember. The list is pretty stock. Besides the other, otherwise those little changes here, and the mana base is also pretty much almost the same. Just something some like little change, but and I'm gonna be showcasing all my matches from the Eternal Gauntlet series. That is a new community that is making some pauper leagues, just like the MTGO leagues that you play 5 matches there on the Gauntlet series. You play 5 matches also because we join a league with 6 players, and then all players face each other, and then we have prizes. Prizes, and it's a free-to-play event. So I'm gonna be linking the link from the for the Discord on the description. It's called an Eternal MTG Eternal Gauntlet series, and just enter that, and you can search for learn more about the how to join the league and etc. And if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel since it helps me a lot, and I appreciate it. So I don't think I have much to talk about this deck. It is a pretty stock list. Luffy is the best Affinity player we know on the MTGO. And I like the deck. I just think this deck is kind of overpowered, like because Refurbished Familiar. I don't think Refurbished Familiar and Bridges are cards that you can have on at the same time on Pauper, but a bunch of people disagree with that, but it's okay. Different opinions. But so let's go to see the matches now, and I think this is going to be a fun series because I'm going to be showcasing all the matches, even the losses and the screws I got, the floods I got. I'm just going to be showcasing everything. And if you like these longer videos, like 1 hour and a half, you just comment what you think about this. And now, yeah, let's see the matches. This is the round one. We are on a play. Round one, game one. We have a decent hand. We have all the colors. We have the combo Icon Shaman and Tox Analysis, and this is a pretty good hand. And next turn we have a Tron Monitor, and we're gonna have 2 mana open to sacrifice the Tron Monitor, the Records Bargain, in case we needed to just draw 2 cards. But I decided to play this Icon Shaman. I don't know why. And my opponent's playing blue white. Uh, Reality Acid deck. That is a cool deck. It's a fun deck, but I don't. It's not very competitive. But it is a good deck. Opponent played a Seagate Oracle, I guess, and a bit of crosses. Opponent might gain a bunch of life. That my Galvanic Blast is going to be only removals in this matchup. The Kraken Shaman is fine because we can combo with the Toxin and clear all the ground creatures. This is bad, but now I just gonna be sacrificing my land in response so my opponent cannot get he acid back. That's the way. And I also sacrifice the I don't remember exactly what I did. I just I don't know. Okay, I just saw what I did. I sacrificed the land to do the one damage with the toxin analysis also, comboing gain a bit of life and making the clue token and not just losing the land to the reality acid. And I also stopping my opponent to get the reality acid back. So that was the play. I just confounded just got a little bit confused because I thought I was sacrificing to the Reckoners bargain, sacrificing the land to the bargain, but it was not that. My opponent trying to slow me down with the Cryogen Relic. I mean, draw a card with with the clue. I think this is a good matchup, but it's a long one. Maybe it is decided on the time. Unfortunately, because I hate decide uh, matches on the clock. But MTGO, you have things like that happening quite often. But then I just think my opponent now can block. If he blocks, is fine. If he wants to trade with my refurbished, is fine. But my opponent is gonna try to momentary blink, and I'm gonna trade 3 for 1 here is fine. And that momentary blink on the grave is quite mana hungry. He needs 4 mana to flex back. This is an annoying card because he doesn't. He is not worth to sacrifice my creature to draw 2 cards because my opponent's gonna keep the journey in play, and he has like 4 Skyfishers and 4 Dreamstalkers to get the journey back and remove another creature. So it's better to just leave my opponent with my creature removed in on the journey. It's fine. Sacrifice the blood token to draw 2 cards. It's fine. Now I have this Nihil Spell Bomb. Maybe I just gonna play the Nihil Spell Bomb and crack immediately because I don't want my opponent to. But my opponent's trying to trade here, which is fine. Now I'm gonna play the Nihil Spell Bomb and exile his graveyard, I guess, just to get rid of the momentary blink. We can draw 2 cards here, but I think this was a mistake by me because I don't see a reason to not draw those 2 cards here. That's my at least that's my opinion now. Watching the game, I clearly could draw 2 cards, even sacrificing a Vault of Whisper. My opponent's playing the mid-range playing. I like the Azorius mid-range control decks, value decks because the Azorius is my favorite. Azorius is my favorite color pie, which is the problem is just you don't have a body wipe. This is really bad. We're gonna trade. Gonna get the blue token. Now we're gonna get the destructible land. But again, and against a deck that plays Journey to Nowhere, it is just quite impossible to make the KENKU land sticks. Reality acid is another thing. Now opponent is gonna try to bounce, and I'm gonna sacrifice this land for this bargain. It's always a good play doing this because you don't want your opponent to get the reality acid back to start killing your permanents at his own taste. It's bad. But now we can sacrifice this KENKU Artificer at some point and get it back with the Journey to Nowhere. I'm gonna start to get a little bit of pressure. Opponent's gonna block. I don't know why my opponent blocked that. I think this was maybe it was a mistake. I don't know. I don't know his hand. He has 7 cards in hand. We don't have nothing. We're gonna play Mirror Enforcer because it's a lot of pressure. I thought about getting a refurbished familiar instead of the Mirror Enforcer, but I don't know why I did not that. The opponent is kind of I don't know if opponent's flooded, but he has a lot of cards in hand because this deck almost never is gonna run out of cards. You know, Cryogen Relics and Card Sky Fishers and Deanstalkers is just a powerful draw engine, so pretty much impossible to run out of cards. Here I think it's just play the land. You can just play the land and yeah, we just play the land and just go to the Kenku. We can attack, pressure a lot, or damage. And another blood fountain, which is a problem for my opponent because I'm gonna be threatening another Kenku Artificer afterwards. Opponent found the second journey. Probably he runs three. Oh no, not three, four, and it's a journey because it got my land. It's a very good play. And now we have a trouble because we are with no pressure, but my opponent is behind on time. We are playing Magic Online. We are drawing a bunch of cards, making the impossible to to keep the pace with value. Like this value is too much for Affinity to. My opponent has 6 cards in hand. We have only one now with the draw. So Galvanic Blast is fine because we're gonna try attack. Opponent's gonna. I don't know. This block is good, but I'm gonna make another Kenku. We're going to get another mirror, and it's fine. Gonna Jordanes. Another journey. I think this is the maybe if opponent plays a 4 journeys, the mirror. I guess now we're gonna opponent's gonna have this RCD back, which is a unfortunate because you know. Now a Clara Shaman will be really nice. You lose all the board to the Kenku Artificer, to the Reality Acid, actually. I think now we have a pretty big problem. Opponent is gonna try to clock us. Uh, I think we can still get back into this game. We just need to find another Clara Shaman, and a Tron Monitor is nice. A bargain is fine because it can block now a creature and sacrifice the bargain and gain 3 life, and also drawing 2 cards. I did not sacrifice a bargain. I don't know why I did that. I just lose 1 life here, but I just wanted to draw one more card, sacrificing the Equal Wellspring. So that was not a mistake at all. You can see that I used the Great Furnace from Mirrodin. And on my intro on the deck tag, I was showing another edition from of the Great Furnace. The game is still running. We draw a lot of cards, and this makeshift munitions with this Galvanic Blast is gonna win us the game pretty much. Because my opponent did not block that, but I don't know why. It is too much damage. Opponent just found a lot of creatures. Just resolve those go for those creatures. I just decided to do 2 more damage in case my opponent has something to gain life, at instant speed. I just decided to do a lot of the max damage I could with the makeshift munitions. So let's go to the game 2. And for the sideboard, we took out the 3 character shamans and 2 toxins, keeping only 1 toxin on the main deck, even without the character shaman, because we can toxin a mirror enforcer or a Ultron monitor and kill all the creatures my opponent is trying to use it to double block and triple block or triple block our creatures. So we put in 5 pyroblast effects, and that was the sideboard. So let's now see the game, and we are on a draw. Obviously, opponent had the relic of progenitors. This means that our blood fountains are add, because you're not gonna have a opportunity to return any creatures unless my opponent just cracks this relic at some point to draw a card, and then we find a window. This is very bad. This is very bad. We did take a dust to dust, and we just uh, we have to discard. We discard the mirroring force. That is the the biggest mana we have, and we are short on our fight, so we need to discard the mirroring forcer. It's fine. We can still crawl back from this terrible position, but my opponent is doing nothing. I believe my opponent has a lot of removal in hand at this point, because it is a proactive deck with we take a lot, the second dust to dust, which is really bad, and now we have a Nihil Spellbomb. We can sacrifice to draw cards at sacrifice and draw a card if we found a black mana, which we find, which one we find, and we just counter. That's the reason to bring those Pyroblast. We want to counter those reality assets, and also those Dreamstalkers, or and I think is the main reason to count to bring Pyroblasts is the Cryogen Relic. We want to counter the every Cryogen Relic we can. This is the main reason. But we are still crawling back. We have another Pyro, and I think we use a Pyro. Yeah, we use a Pyro already, but that's fine. The first Johnny, it's okay. Opponent doesn't have any pressure. We like that, and we are finding our colors or our lands. Next turn we can play, I think, the Mirror Enforcer. No, we cannot. It's fine. We can play the Ultron Monitor for sure. We are countering another, and we counter another um, reality asset, because this is pretty good. As and there you see the Red Blast that I was talking about on the deck tech. I was playing the classic, the pre-modern art of the Red Blast. This is from Master Edition from MTGO, and that what I had in my intro was the Magic Online promotionals, I guess. This is a beautiful one. I like the classic, the pre-modern arts. That's my taste. But yeah, we crawl back. As you can see, Affinity is broken. We draw so many cards. We have the opponent did not resolve any of his reality assets, and now he has to get back Relic of Progenitors just to play Dreamstalker and Wall or Mirror Enforcer. I'm just gonna finish the game right now. This is I think this is a good matchup, even though my opponent has Dust to Dust. But anyway, I guess my opponent maybe had a. We have. I think we got lucky to draw like three Pyroblast effects. I think this was lucky because we counted three reality assets, and my opponent did not find any Cryogen Relic. That we end up with three creatures, and my opponent one card. And we also found two refurbished familiars, which is unfortunate for my opponent. And we also had makeshift munitions to make a very quick finishing with the galvanic blast. Is just too much damage. So this was the round one. So let's go to the round two. This is the round two, and we are on a draw, and we have a terrible hand in the terms of the it's broken. Terrible for my opponent, because it's this deck is overpowered, I think, because refurbished familiar. This card is so strong, especially when you can draw two copies of it. It just tears two cards of opponent's hand. It for me is broken. We are taking a bunch of damage here. I think we even might lose in this game one. I don't remember exactly how the game went. In that, you like if I won the game one, the game two, or if I lost the game one. I just remember the result in general. But and this is a really nice combination of Gingerbread with a equipment and being unblockable. It's lightning bolt every turn basically. It's really nice. Now we got two refurbished. Then with is when this deck is really strong. We got because we're gonna draw two cards. No, I decided to have a toxin analysis to block and gain some life back. I don't know why I did that. Then now my opponent just have two creatures, and I should have played both refurbished familiars and just trade with those guys. That would be, but this is it is fine. We cannot have opponent has the fire blast. I knew my opponent had that fire blast. I just was hoping my opponent did not draw another Tomb Raider or another equipment to equip in the Ginger Brute. I was just thinking about this, but the Clockwork Percussionists found the Fire Blast, and I knew about that, so that's my fault. Maybe I just had to play both Refurbished Familiar block. Of course, my opponent will find the goods, but I would just block both the Tomb Raiders, and we're gonna stay alive. And then the next turn we would have my opponent would need to cast the Fire Blast, and we would be at one, because now we would have take only 3 damage. We are at 7. Oh, I think it was the same, right? We gain. I just lost myself right now, but we could play both the refurbished familiars, and now on the next turn, if we had one, we could play Kark and combo with the Toxin that we are not using on that refurbish just earlier, and we were sacrificing this clue token, and it was just clearing the board and gaining us a bunch of some life, important life. And this was the game one that we lost. Now let's go to the game two. The sideboard for the game two, we took out 8 cards. They were all the Nihil spell bombs, the munitions that is kinda slow, the KENKU artificers that are very slow, and the TRON monitor that they can target with bolts, with 1 mana, with smash to smithereens, something like that. We take out 8 cards and we put or the 9 cards rather, no 8, 4, 5, yeah 8 cards. So we just side in the 6 blue elemental blasts, the 6 hydro effects, of course, because they are the best sideboard we had against red decks, and we sided in the unexpected things and also the 4th copy of Karakan Shaman. So this was the sideboard for the game two. Let's see the how how we went here. We have a good hand. We have all the colors that we need to play our cards. This is a pretty good sign. My opponent doesn't have the best start, but Clockwork Percussion, it's a the Clockwork. It's a nice start. Another Clockwork is kind of annoying because they are dying and giving my opponent cards. So they they found a synthesizer, which is fine. Now we have a good play here. We have the bargain. We don't have blue mana for the Ultron monitor yet, so kinda strange. Synthesizer getting a galvanic blast. It's gonna galvanic blast my face here. I can block and just bargain, I think, because I need this life and I need the cards, of course. Opponent has 5 cards in hand. We don't have a blue mana yet, but we do have this bargain and this galvanic blast. Opponent has got a Lackey, which is fine. It's a good creature. Okay, now we have the blue mana. We have another bargain. This bargain maybe we need to keep for the. I think I'm gonna kill the the lackey, but so my opponent cannot pay 3 and draw a card and make a treasure. So I think this is a fine trade. We have now our blue mana. It's fine because my opponent is not putting so much pressure on us. I think opponent is flooded, or maybe he's holding like 2 bolts, or even more, like 2 bolts and a chain lightning. I don't know. Bargain on the Wellspring here is reasonable, but I don't think this was the best play we could have here. It's this refurbished familiar is nice because as you can see, this was the fourth refurbished familiar. No, not the fourth. No, this is the first one. It was the game one that I did draw 3 refurbished. We don't have the Hydro because don't have the blue mana open because we decided to play the Ultra Monitor. The opponent just Pyroblasts is fine. We can block here. It's also fine blocking, but I don't know why I just did it. It's a choice. I don't know. Very nice. Another refurbish, which is very good. We can play. I think we need this mana. Those blood fountains is going to be the difference here because you need to creep. We need to strip. We need to strip our opponent's hand now because he still had 3 cards in hand, and now he can sacrifice the reckless lackey. I think we can just block here, and he can unexpected fangs, but I just did not. I don't know why. I think I'm waiting for a mirror enforcer maybe. Now we have a nice. You're gonna blood fountain, double refurbish familiar, just strip strip the hand, and also my opponent discarded that ginger brute. Opponent did not want to play that ginger brute. I don't know why. And now also another Tomb Raider. I don't know why my opponent does not play those cards. Maybe he wants to draw a card with the lackey. I don't know. He just loot. Let's open this. Let's open. Opponent loot the land. We'll block that is fine. Now we're going to do the same thing. I guess opponent lackey. It's not very good. You're gonna counter this because we have 12 life. Maybe opponent has another. When fire blast us, it's fine. It's also fine. I'm not worried about this because he had another hydro blast in hand. But we're gonna play both refurbished. We could play. I'm gonna counter this. It's fine. Also, we're gonna play both refurbished because we can draw 2 cards here. Just uh, get ahead on the opponent. Just resolving burn spells, and that's fine for us. Now we're gonna attack for 5. We're gonna gain 3 life. We have uh, tough tough cast. Opponent just concedes because now maybe he draw on a land or a creature, and we can keep gaining 3 life. And they also have the Reckoness Bargain to sacrifice the other refurb that is not with lifelink and just gain 4 life in response to a burning spell. It's or even if your opponent draw the removal for this lifelink or refurb, we can just bargain and gain 4 life in response. It's just very strong. Now let's go to the game 3. A little bit of a change on the sideboard for the game 2. For the game 3 rather, sorry. We just sided out 2 mirror enforcers that are kinda slow. It's like they are like heavier than the Ultron monitors, and we just get back with the Ultron monitors because they die easily. They die like easier than the mirror enforcers, but they hit the board easier like earlier too. But it's fine. I think it's a fine trade because we are on a draw. I just thought about being on a draw. I want, I want a little bit of a less mana, like creatures that cost less mana. Ultra Monitor costs 5. We can pay 1 mana for the turn. It's fine. The opponent just attack us with the. It is a good start for this deck. We're gonna refurb. Then we're gonna have three refurbished familiars. This is two matches in a row having game at least one game with three refurbished familiars. It's a pretty. We're gonna just Galvanic Blast. It's fine. Now those refurbished is gonna just this is a crazy um crazy game because we are drawing blue cards and having no blue mana and even being stuck on only two lands while we have blood fountains. Opponent's not attacking, he has only two cards in hand. We're gonna resolve the third refurb and we just drew our fourth copy of refurbish. It's I think this card is is not only a strong card, I think this card is broken with all the artifacted lands we have on Pauper. But that's just my opinion. And another synthesizer, losing another synthesizer, Goblin Tomb Raider. Okay. And then we could draw, we could start attacking here. When it has 20 life, only one card in hand, we have 14. We're gonna resolve, no, we're not gonna resolve. We just play down another refurb, it's fine. We just drew our third blue card. It's not fine. Our fourth blue card with no blue mana. We are trying to not, we are sacrificing our refurbish because opponent's gonna attack. I'm gonna Galvanic Blast the unequipped, which is fine. Now my opponent had no energy, so the Inventor's Axe is useless on the board. Just counting for the Metalcraft. Now I have a completely blue hand with no blue mana. This is getting pretty scary. We just play the Mirror Force. Opponent might just uh, Galvanic Blast at some point. I think yeah, it's Galvanic Blast. It's better on the mirror than in my face. But now opponent found a rich great furnace. They can start to, and we just look those draws, man. Opponent's dying for this refurbish, which is fine. We are taking all the damage. Of course, we can do nothing. We could not even draw a card to play in that now a tap land, so we cannot blood fountain back to refurbish. Okay. Opponent's having a hard time to find a removal for this refurbish, and this is gonna make it lose it. And this is fine now. The opponent's just dead because we have this, and we gotta only clear the board, and my opponent's gonna find a Pyroblast, which is useless, and he needs to find a removal now. And we still need to find a blue mana if he found a removal, but that doesn't happen, and we won. And this is crazy because we have 12 turns here of magic, pure magic, a lot of draws. And not a lot of draws. Actually, we had only no, we have a lot of draws, man. We have drawn 12 cards. We are on a draw this game. We have 12 draws and we have two bargains. And the toxin analysis was not a draw, I guess. I just did not draw with the glue token. So this was crazy. This is really crazy. None of those refurbished drew cards. I guess you always did make orders upon this card and not we draw card. So this was the round two. Pretty lucky to find four refurbished, and I'm pretty unlucky at some point to draw only blue cards with no mana, with no blue mana. But I think if we drew no, like we drew only one or two refurbished, I think we would draw more lands like the blue mana lands, or maybe I don't know. Magic sometimes is crazy. So let's go to the round three. Okay, this is the round three. This opponent was playing. I remember it. I believe he was playing Walls combo. It was Walls combo. I think he was. But he's starting with the Haunted Mire. I'm not sure now. Yeah, it's a kind of a walls combo. Yeah, the invoker and all those cards. Only need to find a way to combo before we find the Karkan Shaman with the Toxin combo. We are at a pretty fast clock here because, Monitor and the Utron and the Mirror Enforcer are a very strong clock. 3 turn clock for now. And I think this is a pretty good matchup because we always needed to play creatures and they all are all non-flyers. Then Clark and Shaman with Toxin is just insane. You don't find any of those. We're just gonna go Galvanic Blast the X-Bane Guardian, I believe. Yeah, this is pretty easy because my opponent don't they cannot combo with this. He starts to play Sago Wildings, which is fine. He is a fine trade with the Ultron Monitors. My opponent cannot trade with the Mirror Enforcer. He's at 9. So I guess we are chilling here. We attack, he trades, it's fine. The problem is he can jump block a bit with some walls. This card is dangerous, but opponents still cannot make any color of mana with the combo, and this guy is the problem. But only 2 cards in hand. This is a problem too because now my opponent can even uh, look at so much cards from the top. A toxin and you just need the Kalkan Shaman now. We're gonna search for the card. Obviously we are halfway through the deck. Gonna just gonna just munitions is GG obviously because we're gonna do 1 damage with munitions and 4 damage with the Galvanic Blast. Opponent did not block the Mirror Enforcer or do he block? I think he blocked, but it doesn't matter. We won game 1. This is a pretty good matchup. Also, we did not find the combo. We just find the Dox Analysis that we are playing 3. And also 3 Kraken Shaman as the main deck. We did not find. We are 31 cards deep and we didn't find any of those 3 copies of Shamans of the Krarks. So let's go to the game 2. Game 2 and the sideboard was we took out the KENKU artificers, the blood fountains, the makeshift munitions that is kind of slow even though it helps us it helped we won the game 1. But in also mirror enforcer that's kind of slow. It offers a good clock, but we need to answer the combo also. And we put the 5 Pyroblast effects, Pyroblast effect, and we took 6 cards out. Took out 6 cards, we put 5 Pyroblast effect and the 4th copy of Karkan Shaman. This was the sideboard for the game 2. We have a pretty bad hand with Mulligan. We just don't have the red mana we needed. We have 2 Pyroblast that can counter you know, Pyroblast can counter any of the blue piece of the combo. The Galvanic Alchemist and or the Frit from the Real. We are blue cards, so we are fine just countering that. Opponent might have Hydroblasts to fight back, but we shall see. We don't have a good start here. We are just losing a land drop, which is bad. But let's see, opponent. Okay, now we are fine because we have our blue mana. Another leader stampede. The other leader stampede just found They're kind of pretty bad creatures. Don't mind about this. Let's. Okay, opponent has 5 cards in hand. They're just attacking me with the hero range. Opponent's kind of unlucky, I guess. We're gonna forecast. We found more lands, which is amazing. We are. We always wanna. We discard a Pyroblast. I don't know why. I could just discard this Eco Spring, maybe. No, the Eco Spring was too nice to discard. But having 2 Pyroblasts is really good because he can counter the combo 2 times. I think it's enough, in my opinion. I don't understand that much of Affinity, and so I'll sacrifice the land because the Masquerade Vandal would take out our land. It's fine. We can double refurbish here to creep our opponent's hand, strip it down. Opponent's got 2 Drift of Phantasm. See, it's kind of crazy. Just go Clark, and if opponent tries to combo here, we can just sacrifice double refurbish and counter the Seat of Synod, I guess. But opponent just remove our land, and we could do nothing. And that's why I just let pause a little bit. That's why I just played the card, because I saw my opponent had a second Masquerade Vandal, and I just want to play the card because my opponent doesn't play any removal. And at this point, the only thing my opponent could have is a Hydroblast to kill, and in response, we could just obliterate the board, and that was a nice play. Now we had a Toxin and it just a set to win this game, but it was a kind of tricky at some point. Some points, I'm gonna just sacrifice the Equal Spring, exclude the board, and just start attacking. This is the weakness of this deck against Affinity. You just combo, crack, Toxin, and just wipe the board, and my opponent can do nothing. Once it's left with 2 cards in hand and no way to combo. It's pretty sad, but it is a bad matchup for Walls combo. Opponent is playing a Sagu. It walls us, but we have 2 Galvanic Blasts. But we have no red mana, which is kinda scary. We're gonna play another refurbish, it's fine. Still no. I think I should have played. No, I guess I want to draw with this clue. But I think we could have played this Nihil Spellbomb maybe. And just sacrifice it to draw a card and just give my opponent no way to get back any of those creatures with who knows empty the graves or repeat the graves. It's fine. I decided to just Reckon's Bargain to draw more cards than only one with the clue. I found my red mana, which is fine. Now we are set to win this because we are with the red mana. We had another Toxin and we just need to find another Kraken Shaman. But I think at this point that those Sago Islands might be a problem if my opponents don't stop to play Sago Islands. If he plays Avenging Hunter, it's also a problem maybe. We're going to just do this and also Toxin one. We just get rid of all those Sagos, and I just don't care about the refurbish because they just discarded cards and they are trading. We are now drawing our second red source, which is really fine. We have a better clock. Opponent attacks for 3 and we attack for 4, and we have 2 Galvanic Blasts in hand, which is fine. Now every draw spell we draw, it's okay. This is kind of annoying because it's a 05 that can wall Armor Enforcer, but you know. I'm just thinking about here if I want to Galvanic Blast this Sago or not, but I decided not. We found another refurbish, a fourth copy of Refurbish in halfway through the deck. Yeah, 30 cards deep, 30 cards deep, and we found 4 copies of Refurbish. We just destroyed that guy because that guy can just start to playing 5 mana at some point and just finding permanents and eventually cause problems, but it was just safer to do that. I think now we can just play card and sacrifice 3 things to kill this Wall of Roots and the Saruli Caretaker, and my opponents just end up with the Sagu Idling. If my opponent wants to attack with the Sagu Idling, we deal 6 damage, which is... And my opponent just found the Shield Wall Sentinel, which is good. He finds he search for the Axe-Bending Guardian that we can kill with the Galvanic Blast, which is fine. Opponent just crazy attacking with the Sagu. Now we have a pretty good clock because we have attacking for 6. I think we should just kill this Saguadin now. We could kill the Axe-Bending Guardian also, but the opponent stopped attack with the Saguadin. Now we can just sacrifice 3 lands again, and opponent decides to double block, so we're gonna Galvanic Blast the Saguadin. This is just really bad. Let me just pass here. You can play the card, Shaman, and pass. But this is fine because the opponent is not gonna combo here. Also fine. We can attack for 2. And another red mana, which is very good. We have 2 turn clocks here. You could have played this card before. I don't know why I'm not playing this card. And my opponent just gives GG. So this was the round 3. We were like 3-0 on the league. And now we need to play 2 more matches. So let's go to the round number 4. Okay, this is the round 4. And we are playing against TRON. We mulligan that hand because it's a really bad hand. We just do nothing. And opponent starts at least with not the best start with Tron piece and Expedition map, but I think this is a bad matchup. I know we have the Kark Toxin combo that can just destroy all opponent's board of the ground creatures, the non-flyers, the big creatures, but we don't have any hate for the Tron lands, we don't have any hate for the flying creatures like the kill ship, which is a 7/7. This is also a pretty nice start from our opponent. We can Kraken Toxin again. It's fine, and I think I should have waited a little bit more here, to be honest. But it's okay. It's okay. We can. I think we waited. Opponent played a kill ship, and in response we just Toxin and just sack the Ultron Monitor and also the Coral Spring just to draw a card here. Extra card, and also draw with the cloak token. But I think that was a mistake because now we don't. We still have the Eco Spring. We are trying to race our opponent here, but opponents plays a bunch of those big guys. I think it's going to be a. I think this is a bad matchup in terms of we can just deal with the ground creatures and only with the Dark Toxin combo because the Galvanic Blast is a useless removal against this deck. That being said, Ulamog's Crusher is a problem because if you don't remove it, it starts to get over you. And the opponent just found 2 kill ships, and the opponent has had a perfect draw here, in my opinion. Oh, almost perfect, at least against Affinity, because you found 2 kill ships. Now, even if you found a Blood Fountain, if you had time to found a Blood Fountain and trying to clark our opponent, even that you would not answer the kill ships. And also, unfortunately, the Ulamog's Crusher would just crush us. So let's go to the game 2. Okay, for the game 2, we just side out 2 of the 3 Nihil spell bombs and the single copy of makeshift munitions. And then we side in the 4th copy of Karakan Shaman and the 2 copies of extract a confession, sorry, because it's good against those big creatures. But it's still, this is a bad matchup, of course. Even with those changes, we don't have a fast clock. We need to get lucky to have a fast clock. Kinda having a fast clock here now because turn 2 Tron monitors is really strong, and turn 3 Mirroring Force is also really strong. But then opponent might have turn 3 natural Tron, and that's why what my opponent has. Just Boulder Branch Golem, it's fine. Kalkan Shaman, we just played. I don't know what we did here. Yeah, we just loot blood token with discarding a Kalkan Shaman, and we found a start confession. Me could just start confession right here, but I just decided not, and I maybe I want to loot this Galvanic Blast. I don't know. Opponent is going to Mogus Crusher. I think this is fine. We can take this and keep attack with the Tron Monitor. Now we found an important card to sacrifice to the Mogus Crusher, which is fine. Another land is also really good. Now we can attack and we can block the Mogus Crusher and also Galvanic Blast the Mogus Crusher. But my opponent has 6 cards in hand on his turn and like 9 mana. No, not 9 mana, but 11 mana, which is atrocious. It's just a obnoxious amount of mana. But it can trail and Lembas gain a bunch of life, and we are never winning this race. But okay, sacrifice the blood token, and we found 2 such confection. If my opponent doesn't have any more big creatures, we have a shot here, but it's really kind of impossible. Opponent even protect this Lamog's Crusher. I guess this won the game for our opponent. And it's fine. I'm gonna attack. I guess I could take the 6 damage, but it's not a wise play. And my opponent just hit another more strong Colossus and hitting another what's a call damage control, which would bring back a creature and an artifact. It could bring back a Lamog's Crusher and a Broad Boulder Branch Golem, or you know, a Candy Trail and a Lamog's Crusher. It's just too strong. And this was the round 4. Bad matchup in my opinion because opponent plays so much big creatures and only we can only answer those big creatures with Kalkan Shaman and Toxic Analysis combo, or 4/4 Mirroring Forces or 3/3 or 4/4 Mirroring Forces are nothing behind in front of the 7/7, 8/8 and 6/5s. Also, the Ultron monitors are nothing against the 7/7 flying kill ship or the 6/5 worm. It's really bad. I think this is a bad matchup, but it's okay. So let's go to the last round. Okay, the last round we are playing against Poison Storm. So Poison Storm is a bad matchup for us because we only have answers on the sideboard. We have 5 pyro effects, but you know, opponents having a good start here, and we are at 2 poison already. So we are playing this refurbish and of cast, drawing cards, but none of our cards do anything with our opponent's plan here. This card I wanna counter uh, after having Pyroblast effects from the sideboard, because and also the experimental augury, because he just looked the top cards and find a piece that he wants. But we have a reasonable clock here. A fortune clock is not that bad, but and we have 2 Galvanic Blasts, which is fine. The opponent just is dead on our turn, but of course opponent have Weather the Storm. I think Weather the Storm is a pretty strong card for Pauper. Our opponent just have a 19 and we have 18 damage. Opponent is 11 at best, but you know, would be nice to find another blast and opponent just like having nothing for a little bit, but the opponent is just winning the game here. I believe. Yeah, I just think opponent won the game here. Opponent just had the perfect game, I guess. This was the perfect game. Opponent won on the turn 6, and just had the Weather the Storm and all the draws he won. So okay, opponent just got a little bit lucky, but it happens. So let's do game 2. So the game 2 with the sideboard, we just took out all the tox analysis and all the tox analysis and double Nihil spell bombs. So a total of 5 cards out, and we just put the side in the 5 Pyroblast effects. That's the only sideboard we have against this deck. And this is the game 2, and a bad hand because we are floating already, 5 lands, 2 useless cards against this deck. Now we had a Pyroblast, it's really nice. We even have this Forecast and 2 red mana to play this Forecast, and you still have the Great Furnace. No, you still have the Pyroblast open. But the opponent don't have blue mana yet, which is curious. Okay, we are kind of flooded already. You need to find a clock here. Okay, opponent found the island. Decided not to counter that. I just decided to Pyroblast while my opponent doesn't have any. Pyroblast, no, the Galvanic Blast while my opponent have no. I decided to counter this one. I don't know why I countered, but it's fine. We need to counter something. I want to counter the Vivian's the Surgeon, the sorcerer that draw 3 cards and proliferate. I think that card is very strong. That card cannot resolve. And also the Augury, because the Augury just look to the top in the top of the deck. This is fine. You just draw a card. Just gonna let it resolve. You have 2 poisons only. Opponent having now another draw spell. Draw 2, and I think it is that. Losing 2 life, it's important because you're gonna start to have a clock now. A pretty good clock. Pretty good clock. Oh, this is really nice. Yeah, we have opponent dead on board. If opponent doesn't have, but now it is our opponents just had the moment's peace because he discarded the moment's peace with the refurbished familiar. Okay, if was not for that refurbished familiar, opponent would have a problem because he would be dead, or no, because he has a rather this one. Maybe he has another moment's peace in hand, and he don't want to discard anything else other than this stone at that moment, which tells me that my opponent has a very good hand. This is a counterable card. I should have countered this card because my opponent will not play that Surgeon Insight. Opponent doesn't have didn't have the double blue mana to play it. If not, I decided to counter it because it's just draw card, it just draw 2. But of course, opponent has a moment's peace here, and we are dead because my opponent has 5 cards in hand. It's gonna be a 5 cards in hand since he's gonna draw one card, and it's quite difficult not giving 3 poison counters to us when you have 5 cards in hand. Then my opponent has the Vivid Surgeon inside, and this is I just gave up because my opponent has another moment's peace and is gonna draw 3 cards. You're gonna get opponent's gonna up to 6 cards in hand, and we're gonna go to 8 poison, and it's just impossible not to lose it from here. And I think this was this is a bad matchup. We need to draw Power Blast. We drew a Power Blast. We drew 2 copies of Blast effects, but we could not hit this card. This the Surgeon Insight. It's the best card on best draw card, the best card draw for the from the Poster Storm. But it's fine. We we get unlucky a bit on those last 2 matches. We faced 2 bad matchups. We got lucky on some of the 3 wins we have on the first 3 rounds. And this was the report from this first Eternal Gauntlet series. I'm gonna be reporting every single one that I play, and I wanna keep reporting these ones because I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna test out. I just decided to play Affinity because I didn't have any Affinity, Grixis Affinity in my channel. Any content. I just had no content for Grixis Affinity on my channel. So I decided to go for Affinity. I don't have that much experience on Affinity, but it's fine. It's a deck that I like. I like so much, and it's okay. And I think that the next ones I'm gonna play with even more fun decks, maybe even some brews I have, but I don't know. So if you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, a comment, and until the next one.